Rail accidents are luckily uncommon, but still happen from time to time. Because of how heavy trains are, accidents can be fatal, and so it's vital that everything is done to prevent them from happening. Most accidents happen due to negligence or equipment failure, but no matter how much safety is in place, some accidents are apparently just destined to happen, as one was foretold in 1983. On the 9th of December, 1983, Class 47 number 47299 set off from Drax Power Station with 9 empty 100-ton oil wagons. Along the way, it would pass through the mess of points and signals that was Wrawby Junction. However, today there was a problem. Signalman A.D. Day had just sent a freight train into a siding when he noticed a track circuit wasn't working, preventing him from setting the points back to neutral position on the up main line, leaving the signal closest to him set to danger. The points were stuck so that the upline traffic was directed across the downlines and into the downyard siding. Accompanying Day was trackman K.P. Johnson, who was posted at Rorby Junction signal box that day to act as a hand signalman and inform drivers of a temporary speed restriction on the line to Doncaster. With Day's instructions, Johnson helped guide 2 passenger trains and a light locomotive safely past the danger signal. But even though Day had called for a signal engineer to take care of the points problem, he knew that most up trains would be delayed while waiting for the engineer to arrive. As such, he decided it best to go out and manually crank the points into neutral position to allow trains to continue safely on the upline. Johnson assisted with the operation and both returned to the signal box, but when Day checked the indicator for the points, he found that neither the neutral or reverse lights were on, indicating which way the points were set. It had just gone past 6 PM when 47299 arrived at the junction and stopped at the danger signal. At the same time, a 2-carriage Class 114 travelling from Cleethorpes to Sheffield stopped at another signal on the main down line. Day told Johnson to go out and hand signal the passenger train past the signal on the down line, while Day remained at the signal box to hand signal the tanker train along the up line. During the operation, Day stood at the window of the signal box waiting for the tanker driver to pull alongside so he could provide instructions on the signals and inform them of the speed restriction. However, the driver of the tanker train didn't stop, claiming he didn't receive any instructions to stop at the signal box, and upon seeing the outer home signal was set to clear, he simply carried on. All Day could do was watch as 47299 rolled right past his box, and to his horror, when it reached the downyard siding points, it swerved to the right and moved across the down main line. At the exact same time, the 114 was slowly making its way over the diamond crossing when 47299 swerved and slammed into the side of it, knocking the front carriage onto its side and leaving the rear upright but tilted. 47299 and the leading tanker both partially derailed, but remained upright. Despite only 11 passengers being in the train, 3 were injured and 1 person was killed, a 19-year-old named Rachel Taylor. An investigation was launched to find the cause of the accident and how the points had managed to reset themselves despite Day manually changing them. In order for the points to have changed back, Day would have had to have moved the lever in the signal box to reset the circuit. However, Day had no recollection of doing this. Partial blame was given to Day for not clipping the points after manually changing them to ensure they stayed in place. However, in his defense, he was never taught to do so in his recent training, and local instructions specified that clipping the points wasn't necessary for the procedure he was carrying out. The driver of the freight engine, A.T. Kerman, was also blamed for not stopping at the signal box, and while he did have a legitimate defense since the outer home signal was set to clear, he admitted in hindsight he should have stopped at the box. All in all, nobody is really sure how the points switched back, and while in most cases this would be chalked up as a tragic technical fault, it's very possible something more paranormal was at play. 2 years before the accident happened, it's reported that a psychic contacted British Rail, claiming she'd had reoccurring visions of a freight train being involved in a fatal accident. Her vision was so vivid she could specify that not only was it a big blue engine pulling oil tankers that would crash, but also the exact number of the engine itself, this being 47216. She stated nothing could stop it and someone would die. It's likely BR was going to fob this off as a crackpot story until depot managers were informed her predictions had previously been taken seriously by the police. 47216's number was changed to 47299 shortly afterwards, despite the engine undergoing no kind of significant mechanical change or overhaul. Quite an unusual practice for the railway. Whether the number change was anything to do with the psychic's premonition isn't confirmed, but the timing lines up a little too well, and as such many believe that BR tried to avoid 47216's fate by changing its number. And the paranormal parallels don't stop there. Around 95 years prior to the incident, another crash took place at the same junction when a wagon on a goods train carrying large tree trunks broke and the logs fouled the line. An oncoming passenger train struck the logs and the resulting crash left 8 dead and 26 seriously injured. The accident occurred on the 17th of October, around the same time of day as the one in 1983. Whether you chalk it up to coincidence or something more paranormal, the fact that someone was able to foresee this fatal accident right down to the specific engine involved and its cargo is certainly an eerie detail. Makes me wonder, is this just another tragic, unsolved technical hitch? Or are some tragedies just destined to be? Subscribe for more.